Yo, yo, how you doing? So this is an impromptu live, and yeah, welcome to the stream if anybody's there. I don't know if anybody's there. It's been a while since I've done a live. I figure I'd pop on now while I'm eating my my barbecue pork. I figure I'd chat with you guys, see what's going on. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. So, I hope everybody is well. Hello, hello. I don't know what that character type is at. Hello from Morocco. Yeah, let me know when you join the chat. Say hello from wherever you happen to be. Hello from Morocco. Hi, I'm Steph from Montreal. Welcome to the stream. Hello, how are you, Warren? Good evening. Greece. Evangelos, George Miras. Yeah, very nice country, I'm told. Pigs eat their own dung, unfortunately. Well, a lot of nutrients in the pig, I suppose. Yeah, typically I eat red meat, that being said. But I figured I'd try out something new. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not a good thing to eat. That's why I think Muslims and Jews, they don't like the pork. Ghana, how are you? Augustine. Uncle Steph, did you wish you started building your own software earlier? I started building my own software within a short period of time of me starting to code. That's why when did I first, let's see, no, hold on, let me think. So the very first piece of commercial code I built was for my own website for my business. It had nothing to do with, the business had nothing to do with technology, but I figured I needed a website for marketing purposes. And then, but it wasn't really a web app, it wasn't software, it was a website. But it had some basic functionality, but nothing to get excited about. When did I build my first piece of software for myself? It was probably my dating app. Yeah. Well, you know, when I do that, I was like 1999, 2000. So yeah, it took me several years before I decided to start building my own commercial software. I was too busy making money as a freelancer, I suppose, at that point. Hello, Isaiah. Welcome to the stream. Thanks. Hello. Enjoy your food stuff. Appreciate it. Hello there, I'm considering taking the course. Do I have to have some predetermined knowledge to join? No. That is the beauty of my course. There's an assumption that you know nothing. That said, we have people who are total beginners. About 60% of the people in the program are total beginners, and the rest, they have some level of experience up until chief technology officers. It's quite a wide range, because once you get through the fundamentals, you learn the 5 key languages that I teach. Then you get into building real projects, and that's where the mentoring program really comes into play, because you get the mentoring, you get that support. Thank you very much. Red meat is tasty. Yes, it is actually good for you. No, pork is not red meat. Best source to learn modern Angular. I don't know. I don't work with Angular, so I don't have an opinion there. Learn the basics of the web though. That will help. So you got to learn your HTML5, some CSS3, some JavaScript. Then you can jump into Angular. Where do you get your coffee in Montreal? All over the place. But this is not a coffee. This is a chai tea. I can only take limited amounts of coffee due to gastric reflux, unfortunately. But I'm now, where's the best place for coffee? There's a great place in the what's it really called? That zone where they do all the spectacle, Zone de Spectacle. That's in Place des Arts. There's a coffee shop with a yellow sign on St. Catherine, just east rather of Park. Check that out, or Blurry Street. South Africa, hello from Lithuania. Very cool. I just built my first. Very good, Alexandros. Tell us about your first project you built. What do you think? What was your experience? A little personal question, if I may. How does it go living 169 years alone? Well, right now, I have a lot of friends. Like, I see people every day. When you get to be ancient and old like me, you get used to living on your own. So, but I have lots of people who visit, and I have a lot of friends as well. So I would say I'm always doing something with people. So I'm not lonely or anything. But, I'm kind of used to it after all these decades now. Any tips for Upwork freelance web developer apart from having projects? What else do I need for finally landing a freelance job and gain trust of clients? You have to have projects that you build for other people. So you may do 2, 3 free freelance projects. That's the way to go about doing it. Hi, Uncle Steph. I'm in the market for a good chair. My current chair just broke. What chair are you sitting on right now? Hope you enjoy your food. Well, thank you. I'll show you. I am sitting on a Herman Miller Mira chair. Let's see if I can do this live. Stunt camera work here. There we go. So this is my Mira chair from Herman Miller. I've had this chair for 11 years, and the back broke just a year ago, last year, 6 months ago. And they came, and they have a 12-year warranty. And they came and they replaced all this. They replaced the 2 arms. And this is a Mira 1 chair. They have a Mira 2 from Herman Miller. So that's the chair I use. Very comfortable. I've had this thing for 11 years, and it's still in great shape. Hold on. All right. It's expensive, but it lasts for many years, and it's super adjustable, but it's expensive. So you have to decide if you're willing to put that money in. Typically, when you pay big money for something, when you put money into something, the good stuff tends to last a long, long time. So in the end, you end up saving money. Any course won't give you anything on its own. You will need to put in the reps and hard work. Yeah, 100%. See, the key to learning how to do this stuff quickly is to learn your fundamentals, and then you start building stuff, and that's doing the reps. Assad says, hello Steph, what mistakes do most aspiring entrepreneurs make in the software field? Assuming that your product is fantastic from day one. You have to assume that there's going to be a lot of changes to the software that you're building. So you have to have that medium-term, long-term goal, and because most software there's going to be a lot of iterations, meaning there's going to be a lot of changes as you go. Because when you get in, because you're going to have all these great ideas, and then when you actually deploy the software in the real world, you find a lot of your ideas are not so great. That's no problem, Augustine. Second Cup in Montreal. Well, Second Cup is the place I was talking about is kind of it's not a Second Cup. Second Cup is fine, but it's kind of generic, Can you speak another language? Yes, I can. I can speak French. Je parle français. Je suis Québec. Moi, je viens de Québec. Ça veut dire qu'on parle le français, mais c'est un français québécois. C'est un français particulier. It's a very particular type of French. Hello, do I stop procrastinating when working on projects? How do I stop? I spent a week on projects that should just be a few days. Well, you have to set hard deadlines, if you will. I'm going to have the authentication done by the end of today, no matter what. I'm going to have the views done by the end of this week, no matter what. I know, I've been there, we've all been there. You just chip away at it. You just want, whatever you do, don't stop. Keep chipping away at it. Can I improve my overall front-end skills with coding React Native? I don't know. I would have to. I haven't looked at React Native in many years. I can't answer that. Front end, what for iOS development? Please don't do DDoS. Please don't do DDoS. What's that? Nice to know that you've got visits. Herman Miller chairs are the best. Visits can be better, but not the cheapest. No, Herman Miller chairs are expensive. They're not, but they're worth it. Certain Herman Miller furniture, by the way. Herman Miller, by the way, is a very famous, iconic brand of furniture maker based in North America, and they put out high quality stuff. But you're gonna pay. But here's the thing: if you buy certain lines, certain product lines in Herman Miller, they actually will go up in value over time by quite a bit. So, in fact, you may put a lot out you may put a lot of money out at first, but then it comes back to you in a big way. Let me know. I could show you a couple of very famous Herman Miller furniture pieces I recommend when you have bucks to pick up if you want to have an investment. These pieces I bought have literally doubled and tripled in value since I bought them. So I could sell them easily for much more than I paid many years later. Have a good day. Hi, good day to you. Do I need to do lead code for first junior front-end job? No, build something for real. Herman Miller chairs are expensive because they have doctors and orthopedic people on the design. Oh my God, 11 years. 11 years for what? Hello from Croatia. Hey, very good. Cheers, guys. Welcome to the stream. It's been a while. The first mistake I see software entrepreneurs, me included, is willing to write the perfect code right from the go. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was suggesting that, you may, when you're building an app that you want to, sell to the public as a SaaS, for example, as a software as a service, you'll have an idea in your head how it's supposed to be. But what you'll find when you deploy it, you're going to have to change a lot of it. So if you're writing the perfect code that's locked down, which means you put a lot more time into that, you're going to have to rewrite all that code quite a bit. So you're wasting your time. The first iteration of any app that you put out, you just want to do it dirty, fast and dirty. That's the best. And then you'll make changes. Once you have version 1 or 2 going, where you've had a lot of users use it and the use cases and the functionality is pretty solid, then you start locking down some solid code. What is better long term, Java or C++? They're both really good. They're both really good. I've talked about this. You should check out my videos on C++ and Java. I'll give you some more insight into that. Hello from Poland. Hey, how you doing? Fellow East European. My family originally is from Ukraine. Hey, Uncle Steph, I have 18 months of professional experience. I want to move to a second job for a pay pump. How much should I focus on DSA? Do I still need a portfolio now that I have experience? It's always good to have a portfolio, but the experience is good. Now that you have 18 months, you're safe to start looking around for jobs because you're almost 2 years. So I would say go for it, Let me turn up the lighting in here. It's a little dark. There we go. Hey, Steph, is 4 good project enough for a portfolio, or should I learn Bootstrap or React? 4 good projects is good. Assume you have the basics. You learn Bootstrap learn the basics of Bootstrap. Spend 1 hour learning the Bootstrap grid, and that's it. React, only if you want to apply to React jobs, maybe learn the basics of it, but don't go crazy. Depends what your focus is. Depends on the type of job you're looking for. It says, what does Google tell me? It says I should insert an ad here. Oh, by the way, if you guys can give me a thumbs so that the Google knows that you appreciate this content. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. So Google wants me to insert an ad. So I'm going to insert an ad. I'll be right back because I want to do something very quickly. Let me insert this ad. Tell me what happens after I insert the ad. I've never done this before. We'll see what happens. All right, so the ad is inserted. I don't know what's going to happen. Did you see an ad or what happened? I don't know. Tell me. Appreciate the thumbs, guys. Is it a good idea to learn PHP before JavaScript if starting from scratch? You can go either way. There's arguments for both. Like you can say JavaScript would be easier if you're doing front end. I'm assuming you've done HTML5 and CSS3. Then JavaScript is a natural progression. On the other hand, believe it or not, PHP is actually more structured, but then you have to understand the back-end coding a bit more. That is something you have to work on there. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh. Keep the questions coming. Do I invest in any stocks? Yes. I generally invest in index funds. Personally, I invest in Vanguard because they have the lowest fees. But if you do invest in stocks, individual stocks, make sure you understand the business really, really well. So I don't invest in oil and I don't invest in, whatever, tobacco, retail, because it's not my business. The only type of stock I would invest in directly, personally, would be technology because I understand tech really well. But generally speaking, most of my stock investments are through index funds because it spreads out the risk. I don't have to think about it. My recommendations is you use dollar cost averaging. You can look that up. Invest for the long term. Don't worry about what the price is at the time. Just buy when you are ready to buy because you have money. And that's it. And then stock investments are for long term. You're not going to look at it for 20 years. So that's what I would suggest. Thanks for the answer about the chair. Definitely agree with the price versus quality. I will check it out. Also, on the side note, have you seen Oppenheimer at the cinema? Yes, I saw Oppenheimer very recently. I thought the first part of the movie was a little discombobulated. It was like in terms of the story and stuff. But I liked the second half. I liked the message. The message I think was important in the film. In Oppenheimer, he was demonized by politics and politicians. They lied about him. They told all these stories. They demonized him. Eventually, he was vindicated. But that's a story for today. It's all too common in politics where they demonize their opponents. Somebody doesn't want to argue the point when they do what they call ad hominem attacks, personal attacks. So if you're in a debate with somebody and you stress a point, you believe in X, Y, and Z, and all they say, and in response to your debate position, all they say to you is, well, you're this, or you're that, or you're this. And they're not arguing the point, they're just trying to demonize you. They do that because they can't argue the point. They're weak. So watch out for people who use ad hominem attacks to denigrate people when you're watching politics especially. Don't pay attention to ad hominem attacks. Actually, whenever I hear ad hominem attacks, personal attacks in political circles or whatnot, that perks up my interest in that. I wonder why they're doing that. I wonder why they're doing this personal attack as opposed to arguing the point. You never get anywhere when you do ad hominem attacks. You're not going to forward the ball. At the end of the day, you should strive to want to find out what is real, what is truthful, as opposed to proving your point. If you do that, you're going to be way ahead, way ahead. I actually have that. I have some friends who they could never admit they were wrong, and this is like 25, 30 years ago. Yeah. And I said, listen, if you can never admit you're wrong, you're going to have a very, very bad outcome in your life because you will never be able to self-correct. And I tell you right now, all those people I know who could never admit they're wrong, they're all in a bad situation right now. So that's their problem. For me, I had a different point of view. I got it from martial arts first, where, when I was first started martial arts when I was 10, And I got to some street fights, and we were taught to do certain things, and when they didn't work, I got hit, I got hurt, I got a beating, you know? I would get a boom, and I was like, oh geez, this doesn't work, I better change my ideas. So martial arts forces you, well, street fighting, being a bouncer, doing some ring fighting, forces you to be accountable to your own ideas. So you learn to throw out ideas that are not, you may believe in them, but you find that they're not functional, so you dump them. Same thing in business as well, right? If you're an entrepreneur and you may think that your product is great, or this is the best way to approach something, you're writing software, for example, when a whole thing falls apart, you can't afford to be an ideologue, right? You can't afford to, you have to be honest with yourself, say, I was wrong about this, and move forward. The confident individual is willing to admit they're wrong. The weak individual cannot admit they're wrong. So that goes back to Oppenheimer, where these people attacked him personally because they didn't like some of the things he did. But he was, in the end, vindicated. Oh, we got a super chat here. Let's read that off. All right. The Champion. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Coffee on the Champion, or tea for me. I'm having trouble understanding word problems while I'm learning to code. Do you have any advice for me? And in a side note, I love this channel. Well, I appreciate that. Word problems? What do you mean by word problems? I'm not sure what you mean. Comprehension problems? Let me know, the Champion. I will endeavor to answer. What up, 500-year code sorcerer? 169. I'm not that old. Yeah. So what else we got? I'll go back up. I'm waiting for the Champion to give me a secondary to follow up with that question. I'm not sure what you meant. From Pakistan, Slovakia. My keyboard is going nuts. Don't bother. Hi from Italy. Hello. Did you wish you started? Okay, I got these done. What's any tips? I did those. I'm just going through the questions, guys. Bear with me for a second. Hold on. Yes, please show me Herman Miller pieces. All right, so I'm going to do something unusual here. Yeah, very interested in seeing some Herman Miller pieces. So Herman Miller, if you don't know, if you just joined the stream, is a very high-end furniture maker, iconic furniture. And one of the lines that they keep, that they manufacture is the Charles and Ray Eames, the Eames furniture, very famous. You've seen them in movies and stuff. Why am I talking about this? Is because they are, once you have some extra money and you want to invest, this furniture actually goes up in value. And it's timeless. It's timeless. So let me show you some of the pieces. All right, here we go. Very good. Okay, so here's one Miller piece. Looks like a giant chest. This is walnut. Herman Miller. This thing, I bought this thing about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, 12 years ago. I bought this thing for what I thought was a lot of money at the time, $525. Now this goes for $1,400. I have a certification with this. I could easily sell this for double what I paid, and it's still like fantastic shape. This is a piece of solid walnut. This is one piece. Herman Miller. This is an Eames piece. So you can sit on this. You can put your coffee on this. You can put your feet up on this. It's quite versatile. So what else do I have? I have a similar piece, but it's a different shape. There we go. That's another piece, Herman Miller. Again, these go up in value in time. What else do I got? Look at this. Another Herman Miller chair. Very famous piece. Made of plywoods. It's super, again, these have tripled in value. They all got serial numbers, and it's super comfortable, believe it or not, to sit in there. The people who invented this, Charles and Ray Eames, they invented ergonomic furniture in the 50s in the US. So this is another piece. What else did I got some other, the table I have is Herman Miller. I got other pieces, but I don't want to I don't want to bore people to death too much with this, you know. If you look back there, this thing here, this is a speaker from Bang & Olufsen, highly regarded. They look like pieces of art, but they sound quite good if you're into the audio. Anyway, you buy this kind of stuff when you have a bunch of savings, you got your FU money in place, you bought your house, you know, that kind of stuff. You don't get that until all that is in place first. Do you have any advice how to convince people on the second interview? No. You just got to be the best possible developer you can be. There's nothing, you know, they're going to tell you what's going on there. Hi, Steph. Do you need anything more than a bachelor's degree in comp? No, you don't even need, in many cases, you don't even need a bachelor's degree. Comp science to get software developer job in another country, ex-Germany, the Netherlands, or Canada. I don't know if getting a master's degree will help you to get a job outside of your country of origin. I couldn't say, but if you're looking to, you know, if you're from country A and you want to get into country B, having a degree does help, there's no question. But experience trumps everything. When will AI execute jobs, or is that just a clout? Or is that just clout? It's just clout right now. It's, I'm about to release a bunch of videos on AI. I've been looking at a bunch of different AIs. I haven't changed my opinion. They are going to be assistive tools. They will assist you in your job, but they're not going to replace coders. That's for sure. Don't worry about it, guys. It's normal. Hold on, let me just zoom in here. It's normal when a new technology comes out. Some people freak out, but don't worry about it. You know what? Let's see if I can improve the sound here a little bit. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, we're going to change to this mic. I'll see if I can do a mic change on the fly. We'll find out in a second. Hello. All right, so now I switched to this mic. Let me know if this sounds any better. I don't know. Tell me if this sounds better now. I've switched over from the mic I had on this thing to this mic here. So we'll see how this sounds. All right, we got a decent number of people coming in. Yeah, if you don't mind, please give me a thumbs up to help with the Google algos. That's always good. Yeah. I'm still waiting for that second question from the super chatter. Hold on a second. All right. Let's see if I can find that super chatter. See if I can find a second question. So the champion, let's see if the champion gave me a follow-up here. Hold on. There we go. The champion says, I believe it's called coding problems or algorithmic problems. Oh, okay. The original question was, I'm having trouble understanding word problems. It means the coding problems while I'm learning to code. Do you have any advice? Yeah, just keep writing code. Instead of trying to solve puzzles and stuff, just start building things. The more code you write, the more quickly you'll get comprehension. People think it's the opposite. People think they have to understand the concepts and then they write the code. No. By writing the code, you will have a much deeper understanding of the concepts behind the code that you're writing, and you will get it much more quickly than if you tried to understand it conceptually before. Just like that with fighting, by the way. You don't really understand fighting until you fight, right? You can do a lot of drills and you can do a lot of practice and techniques on each other, but until you get into real combat, then you start getting a deep understanding of things. Same thing with coding. Same thing with everything. You really know it when you do it. So you should do it. Yeah, let me know how this mic is doing here. Ruby. Let me know. Yeah, all right. So we're doing good here. So I hope I answered your question, the champion, and thanks for the super chat tip. The 500-year-old code sorcerer was, I've been incognito this week. I took a little bit of break, partly because I got crappy with my diet. When you get to be my age, when you get to be 169 years old, when you get older, your body becomes more sensitive to the food that you eat. Your resistance to things breaks down. So I have to be a little bit more careful about the foods I eat because I feel it right away. So I started picking out on something called French toast and bananas the last week, where I was eating, it's basically just, it's a sweet breakfast. Lots of bread, bananas, and maple syrup, which is a sugary substance from northeast Canada. Anyhow, and yeah, so I started having brain fog and fatigue. So I'm back on my all-natural meat diet, meat and vegetables, and my energy is coming back slowly, and my cognitive capacity is increasing ever so slowly. Mm-hmm. Lorenzo says, I just got here. I'd like to hear your thoughts on paths as you progress as a software developer, becoming team leader, managing people, or continue as a coder. They're related, but they're not the same. Like, you have to decide or figure out if you are a team leader, if you're good at managing people or not. This is a different role. At some point, if you decide that you do want to get into management, you have to decide that, because when you start managing people, you're going to start spending a lot less time writing code. So you have to decide if that's something you're willing to do. I remember that decision myself. I realized as my first web development studio started growing, I couldn't do all the work and I couldn't manage the people. I couldn't do both. So I had to it was hard for me. It took me like a year or so to transition from being, from coding most of my day to actually managing. So you have to make that choice at some point. I know people have great careers as coders throughout their whole career, and other people move up into management. They are different skill sets, so you have to work with that. When you become a manager or team leader, you have to have good interpersonal skills. That's a big factor as well. That's a big factor. Thanks, anybody who's new to the stream, I appreciate it. My name is Steph. Some people call me Uncle Steph. Code long and profit, I like to say. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't mind me, I'm having my chai tea. Yeah, let me know about the sound. Let me know about the sound. We moved it. Yes, humbleness is a great trait to have. Yes, it's humbleness is a sign of maturity, a sign of a quality of character. If you can be humble, it will, ironically, humbleness will allow you to rise up in this world. People respect humbleness. No rules in street fighting also. Yeah, exactly. I remember I was critical of these guys who did this very hardcore training. It's where it's based on Filipino martial arts, Kali Eskrima, as some people call it. And they just bash each other with these sticks. Now, they would train with these rattan sticks. Boom, 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 boom. And they represented blades, but they would use the sticks, right, in the training. But what happened is they started whacking each other with these sticks, and they started developing these tactics based on the sticks, where they would deflect the sticks and then come in, so the stick comes in, boom, hit. Anyway, the problem with that, and my great criticism, is that they're sticks, rattan sticks, where you get hit, hurts, but it doesn't do serious damage. That's why they train with the sticks. But if the guy had a machete or a steel pipe, it'd shatter your arm or cut off your arm. So what happened is these guys are training really hard, beating each other silly, but they were also developing a bunch of bad habits and techniques based on fighting people with sticks that don't really hurt too much. And these techniques, if they tried to use them against a real machete or a real bat or something, or a steel pipe, they would be finished. So yeah, you have to, no rules is a key factor. That's why even MMA, which is great, I love MMA, but it's not real fighting. It's not real fighting. I was a guy who never admits I'm wrong years ago. I'm far better in my life ever since I admit I'm wrong. I had to work hard on myself, though, and it's not easy. Well, good stuff, Fizz 007. That's the way to do it. Everybody should learn from Fizz. Trust me, I've been there too. Espera, you were a ring fighter. Well, I've done I wasn't a professional fighter. I wanted to be. I was training to be, but I got sick. I couldn't do it. But I've been in the ring many times, full contact sparring. I've done several competitions, full contact, but I wasn't a professional ring fighter by any means. I would have liked to have been, though. Do you use any front-end frameworks or libraries and projects, or do you just stick to PHP, HTML, CSS? No, we use frameworks. We use back-end for Studioweb. We use Laravel. We use a bit of Vue.js for the front-end. And I have, at times in my careers, used different front-end and back-end frameworks that were useful at the time. Generic HTML, CSS, PHP are useful if you're doing something very, very, very simple. That's the only time. Otherwise, I say, yes, definitely use frameworks. I think champion meant world problems. Yeah, I think we got that, though. Java roadmap. Well, you start with the basics, and then you do Java web, probably. That's where you want to be. That's where the jobs are. So, what you call it? Java, you want to do, what's it called again? Spring Boot. There we go, Spring Boot. Uncle Steph, do you sell Java courses? No. I've debated that for years and years. Should I put out a Java course? Because that's, of all the languages I've written code in, Java is by far the most lines. I've written the most lines of Java, but I never put out a course on Java. I don't think I will. Maybe if you do my JavaScript course and my Python course, then learning Java will be like this. They're all very similar. Maybe when you call real-world problems, calculate cost of cars, and you need to calculate cost insurance discounts using code. It could be that, Robert. Yeah, it could be that. For example, if you're teaching people how to code, and I have developed curriculum that many schools and colleges use, it's silly to add an extra level of complexity for the student to have to understand math or have to understand some brain teaser problem. That's silly. I never use math to teach concepts like so many schools do. It's enough to learn how to code. You don't need to have to try to figure out the math behind it. Hey, how are you, Rando? I wish I could produce physical products. Carpentry is a doozy, though. Yeah, that's there's something to be said when you produce something for real, right? There's no question about that. What are your thoughts on studying for CompTIA Security Plus? I have not looked at that. I couldn't say. I generally lean towards, I'd rather build things than maintain things. You're welcome. You're welcome, Fizz 007. You buy these kind of things once you've started printing money, or you sell, what X. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Uncle Steph, any advice for me? I just got laid off and told that the company I work for no longer can afford to keep a junior developer on staff. I feel really bad. I am not good enough for this. No. You got hired, right? They just downsizing. Just listen. You got some experience. Don't worry about it. Everybody gets laid off, and just start looking for other jobs. Start networking. It happens. One of the most successful people I know from a long time ago, him and his partner, they were engineers. They got laid off of their jobs. And then they couldn't find any other jobs. So they said, we can't find a job. We might as well start a company. So they started a company, and they soon became extremely wealthy. They have private jets and publicly traded company. So they said getting laid off and not being able to find a new job was one of the best things that could ever happen to him. So don't worry about Louis. You're fine. getting laid off, getting fired from jobs, having to switch jobs. It's not unusual. Do you think DOM manipulation is the main topic for front-end developer? If you're doing DOM manipulation, at the end of the day, all the front-end web apps is DOM plus Ajax. That's what it is. So when you use something like Vue or React, then you're just using an obfuscation of that, which is cool. Where's the wife and kids? I don't know, Star Trek. The wife, no wife, kids. You can never be sure about whether or not there are kids out there. Master's degree in software doesn't mean a thing. Experience is king. Exactly. I believe it's called coding problems or algorithmic problems. Yeah, we covered that. I have a master's degree in CS, and I've never showed it to an employer or to a client. So there you go. From the horse's mouth. Yeah. Experience is everything. That's a great thing about software. It's all about experience. It's all about experience. Sounding a lot better. The degree is gathering dust. Yeah. Wow, that new mic is good. All right. So yeah, this is the new mic. I'm glad it sounds better. Thank you. They both sound good. Last night, FM DJ in the house. Way better. Okay. Generally, people seem to like the mic better. How are you with health issues, by the way? Is it any better? I hope so. Yeah, much better now. I'm like 99.97% better now. So I've been able to solve it. So it took a while, though. It took me a while to figure out what it was going on. And once I figured out what was going on, I was able to resolve 90% of my issues within a couple of weeks. And then it took many months to get that last 10% down. But yeah, it was, I'm feeling much better now. Hey, Steph, can you please let us know if MacBook Air 2023 15 is enough versus a MacBook Pro, for example? Should we upgrade to MacBook Air 24 gig or 16 gig is sufficient? Depends what you're doing. If you want to do virtualization, you may want some more RAM. If it costs you a little bit more and you can afford it to get the 24, spend a little bit more. You may never use it, but you'll have that breathing space because you can't upgrade the RAM afterwards. So, what are the most valuable side hustles for software engineers? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Side hustles. Do freelance projects for small businesses. What do you think is the ideal stack for AI dev job? I'm not an AI developer. It depends on what level. If you're doing research, it's going to be Python, maybe some C++. If you're implementing, it's going to be all kinds of different languages. I would, again, Python, JavaScript, Coding is a lot like walking. You get better at walking by walking. You've never studied the dynamics of walking, and yet you are an expert walker. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Good. I'm glad I was able to help. Cool. How are we doing for time? All right, good. We're doing not bad. Appreciate the thumbs, guys. Tells Google that this is something worthy of attention. I'm nowhere with codes, unemployed, poor, etc. Well, I had bananas when I got a heat stroke. All right, so Emmanuel, well, just do a little bit every day if you can. It builds up, and eventually you'll start learning how to code, and you'll get somewhere. Don't give up. Okay, so the first code. Let me start again. Okay, so first code and figure it out on the way. Any problems, errors, instead of trying to understand all the concepts. Exactly. Roberto E. Tarazona, that's exactly how to do it. You learn your fundamentals, and then you just jump into the game, and you learn as you go. Trust me, it works best that way. It works that way, too, if you want to fight. How do you handle the long sitting session during work? Do you stand sometimes or walk? Because sometimes the long sitting is exhausting. Yeah, you should get up once an hour, do a little bit of stretching, stretch the hamstrings, that kind of stuff is, go do 10 push-ups if you can, drink lots of water. Yeah, don't sit for hours and hours. Get up once an hour, stretch out a little bit. Trust me, it will make a big difference. Thank you for all the great content and advice. Hey, no problem. True, when I got into my 40s, I could no longer have ice cream without feeling it soon after. Serious Cat? Serious Cat understands the way of age. We all get there if we're lucky. So I suggest that you pay attention to what you put into your body. What you consume is very important. So if you want to get healthy, it's less about a superfood or some special food. It's more about restricting crap from your body and exercise and sleeping well and drinking good water. From a career point of view, do you think it's worth moving to the U.S. if you can? Some say highest paid dev jobs are only available in the U.S. and there is a limit to what you can earn in other places. Yeah, well, start looking around, right? Yeah, the U.S. Is one of those places where if you're really talented, they will pay for it. They will pay for it. So that's a yes to that. But you have to decide if you want to live there or not. There's pros and cons to everything. I am in the early stages of learning JavaScript, and I'm interested in how to use Google. In what way without harming my learning process? There's nothing wrong with using Google or ChatGPT or any other resource to help you learn how to code, to help you code more efficiently. Software developers, the pros, will constantly use tools like that to speed up the process. So don't worry about it. As someone who works in machine learning, I promise you that AI ML will open up more opportunities for developers and allow us to work faster. There you go. Hey, Steph, what is your advice to those looking to sell a product or service online as a solo dev? Well, number one, get out that product or service as quickly as possible. So don't try to make the perfect version of that product. Just get out something that's representative of what it is. Why? So you can get feedback as quickly as possible. Don't build out infrastructure in anticipation of a certain volume. Just get it out quickly. If the volume happens, then you start building out any infrastructure that you may need at that point in time. All right? The early stages learning. Okay, got that one. I don't want to see the solution to a problem. Instead, I aim to understand the algorithm for solving it. After that, I intend to use Google to search for syntax and functions. Well, I don't know. I understand where you're getting at, but just write code. You understand the algorithms, you understand what the code is doing by writing it. So even if you don't understand it and you're writing it and you're just looking at the answer somewhere and you're writing it, you keep writing it, you will learn much more quickly that way. I've given videos advices on how to learn. One of the things I teach is that once you get something to work, break it. Get it to work, break it. Get it to work, break it. Break it in different spots. Excuse me. Get it to work in different spots and then break the code. Look at the error messages. Trust me, this will speed up the process by a big deal. My advice to learning code is stick to procedural style until language syntax, until you feel confident and familiar with building functions and flow control with it. I would just say, stick to simple stuff until you get comfortable with it and then move on from there. For sure. Sounds like a delicious breakfast. Maybe add some berries and crushed nuts or seeds to give it more nutritional balance. Yeah, well, it did have some, did it have nuts? I don't know. Yeah, again, it goes back to what I was saying just now. It's more important about what I omit from the diet than what I put in. So yeah, I don't disagree that crushed nuts could be good for me and seeds. But the better choice would be to just not have the syrup and the high fructose in the bread and stuff, Cheers. This current mic sounds more natural. Hey, it's Jamming Coder. How are we doing here? With 3 more projects, could I get my first junior job with them? Yeah, if you're doing projects for some third party, as I described, I have videos after video on how to get your first job. Take a look at that. Hey, it's Jamming Coder. Long time no see. Finally starting my first full-time dev jobs in 4 days. Hey, congratulations. No degree, just small and consistent efforts along with many tips from Steph and members of his Discord server. Hey, yeah. By the way, if you look at below, there is a Discord server, fairly active. I invite you to join it. It's free. Take a look below. How many lines of code do people write in a day at the job? In movies, they always show people typing away like madmen. No, it's not like that. It could be very few lines, or it could be a lot of lines. On OpenAI, I recently read that they spend $700K a day to run ChatGPT. Wow. And are at bankruptcy risk by 2024 if they don't generate profit. Do you think this scenario will open space for smaller players? I don't know if they're going to go bankrupt. I think Microsoft or some other major player will back them, so I wouldn't count on them going bankrupt. Hey, Steph, can you explain package folder structure? I've just escaped tutorial hell. Can you explain package folder structure? In what context? I mean, well, any framework or any web app or any app, any website will have a folder structure. It's just a way of logically organizing the code and the resources. Resource could be images, videos, etc. It's just a way to organize it so it's findable. I don't know what else you need beyond that. All right, Steph, thanks for the live session. Enjoy the food. Unfortunately, I got to go to a bowling speed date. Hey, very cool. Code long and profit. Very cool, man. Enjoy the bowling speed date. That's interesting. Theo made a video titled "My Final Flutter Video," in which I think he is biased. What are your view on Flutter's performance to React Native? I have not checked out Flutter's performance relative to React, so I don't have an opinion on that. But, I'm sure you can find people who've done some tests, and you can take it from there. Try eliminating gluten, take some alpha-linoleic acid and vitamin C and high-dose vitamin D. Also, dose naltrexone. It's worth a try. 1 meal a day may work. Tips to maintain our health. Yeah, 1 meal a day. I don't disagree with those things. 1 meal a day is good. They call it OMAD. And, eliminating gluten is also good. Sir, are you Serbian? No, I am mixed. I'm a mixed Ukrainian, French, Iroquois, which is native, and I think German too. Bonjour, Poseidon. J'espère que tout ça va bien avec toi. I have learned Mernstack and made some projects, but nobody's hiring me, not even shortlisting. What do I do? Check out my previous videos on this YouTube channel. There's lots of videos on how to get your first job. You can go see what I talk about there. Nothing has changed. Hi, Steph. I am a freelancer, and I make 5 times more than I made as an employee, and I am still doing the same thing, and now I launched a one-day workshop, but I'm having issues finding clients for the workshop. It is an NX Angular workshop, which costs 4 to 5.5K for the client, B2B. Even though I am an NX champion, similar to GDE, I don't find clients for this. I have also done live stream on part of it. Yeah, well, you have to sell them on these things. On a live stream, I couldn't really give you the exact advice there. I go, Steph, do people still download apps in 2023? I don't know. I don't know what the app stats are. Like, I've been talking about this for years. In terms of mobile, I'm a much bigger believer in PWAs, progressive web apps, web technologies, versus having apps people have to go to the App Store to install. I don't know about you. I don't like installing third-party apps unless I absolutely have to. So, All right, how are we doing here? Well, it's almost an hour. I'll be closing up the show soon. Can you show us your desk setup? It's actually a table. I guess I can do that. Hold on. Ready? There it is. Boom. All right. Do you see a good future for a game developer? If not, what alternative field? Game developer, there'll be game developers for years, but I've heard they work really hard. So I would talk to game developers about that. They're still going to be around. You have to decide whether you want to get into that field or not. Steph, do you think it's a good idea to ask for an internship or even work for free for a company so I can work in the real world? 100%. That's a great idea, man. That's what you should do. That's how you're going to open doors and really learn the game. Where can I learn about OOP for Python exclusively, how to use class method and static method? I would just look that up in the Python docs. I assume, do you know the basics of OOP? If you don't, my Python course has a chapter on it, but I'm sure you can find others. I also have a free PHP OOP course, and the principles are 100% the same. Any pointers on learning C? Good luck with the pointers, that's what I have to say. Hello from Romania. Hello. Hey, Uncle Steph, can you please show your desk? I did that one there. Code long and profit to everybody. Hope everything is well. Hi, Steph. I'm about halfway through the CSS portion of your mentorship, and I'm learning a lot. Thank you for all you do. Hey, great. I'm glad you're enjoying the CSS3 course in the mentoring program. Yeah, just in case you don't know, I do have a mentoring program, shameless self-promotion. Hold on, it says I should insert another ad. There, I'm inserting another ad. I got to make my 50 cents here, you know? So I think that's about it. So see what happens. I used to do regular live streams, and I would get like 200, 300 people concurrent. So that's what happens when you're not consistent. All right, so I think I'm going to close this off because it's an hour now. It's just about an hour since I've been on. So thanks for joining the stream. If you have any other questions, please post them under the video. If you like this stream and you haven't already, please give it a thumb up. Don't mind sharing the video. And yeah, I do read the comments under the videos. Cheers, guys. Code long and profit. Bye-bye.